or the raising the hand. With that, would our star like to say a couple words before we start down the list? Perhaps she can tell us some of the folks who are nice enough to be here tonight. Are you there, Laura?
Sorry, just unmuting myself. These Zoom events are fun. Hey, everybody. This is Laura Shadle. Again, I am your candidate for jury commissioner. I wanted to begin by just thanking all of the elected officials and activists, especially like who are on the call tonight. We've got people from not only across Center County, but across Pennsylvania on the call tonight. And I am so honored for all of you, like to have all of you here. And I want to give a special shout out like within Center County to not only to my immediate predecessor, Jason Moser, who is now the county controller, but was the Democratic jury commissioner, which is the seat that I'm running for. I want to give a big shout out to him. And I also want to give a shout out to Judge Jonathan Grine, who is on the call here too. He is running for retention this year in Center County. And I am so excited to be on the ballot with you, with him as well. And I will just give the floor open to everybody else. And of course, you'll hear from me later. So thank you so much for being here, guys.
Laura, thank you. Now, what's really important as we go through this is that A, we try to keep our buttons muted, but B is that the folks who we have here today are individuals that have a great experience. They have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with a good friend of mine. I'm going to tell you, when this young man came to the Capitol, I really wasn't sure about him. Not because I didn't think he was going to be good or bad. It's just that I wasn't really going to sure which avenue he was going to go down. I will tell you, not only does he have the ability to give someone the understanding of a subject line when he speaks on the floor, but he does command everyone to listen and understand. But most of all, when he speaks, the other side shuts up. And I'll tell you why they're quiet. Because when Malcolm Kenyatta speaks, they want to know what he's saying, because he has that way of taking whatever issue it is and just giving that little bit of grasp of light to make, not only put a little bit of humor in it, but that little edge on it to make sure they understand he means business. So with that, Malcolm, are you out there for us? A good friend of mine, Malcolm Kenyatta from Philadelphia. Malcolm, please tell us a little bit about yourself tonight.
Thank you so much, Rep. And I say all the time, you know, Center County is so well served by my friend Representative Conklin, and you know, I don't know if it was fate or because I bugged them. I get to sit close to Scott and not only benefit from his humor, but also benefit really from his wisdom. He's somebody who understands how to make government work for people, how to make government work for working people. You know, that's what Scott does every single day, and I'm a better legislator because I get to sit by him, get to learn from him, and get to call him a friend. But I am blown away by Laura Shadle, as everybody on this call is tonight. There's some people who get involved and, you know, they're involved, they're around, but there are some people whose involvement really shifts the whole course of things. Laura's involvement in local politics in her community, in helping other people's campaign, and being a state committee person has shifted things for not just for Democrats, but for the people of Pennsylvania. That type of dedication and that type of understanding why we do all of this stuff, that at the end of the day, there are real people that are impacted by the votes that we take, impacted by the rulings that judges make, impacted by the decisions that the jury commissioner makes. Laura's somebody that understands that politics at its core is about people. It's about people. And when you find somebody who in everything they do centers people, that gravitational force pulls people along. And Laura is a gravitational force that pulls people along and makes our government and our politics better. You know, and I'm not just here because I like Laura. I'm here because local government matters, because our criminal justice system matters. The people who we have involved in this, it really matters. And so when I see folks like Judge McLaughlin on the call, soon to be Justice McLaughlin on the call, when I see Judge Lane, who'll soon be on our Superior Court on this call, what you see is a coalition of people who understand that every part of our government not only can work better, but must work better for working people. And these folks are here because of the gravitational force of Laura Shadle, her ability to bring people along and remind people what's at stake. And so, Laura, I'm grateful for your example. I'm grateful for your friendship, and I'm excited to see everything that you're gonna do. And I will say, ending here, that next time I have a campaign logo, I'll have to run it by you first, because you by far have the best one I've ever seen. So congratulations in advance. So excited to be with you. And always a good time being with my good friend, Scott. Thank you, Scott.
Malcolm, thank you, brother. As always, you make us proud down there. Thank you so much for what you do. You know, the next gentleman that's going to speak is another good friend of mine, someone that is far higher than what he lets himself to believe. If it wasn't for the county commissioners of Center County being able to hold back the tide, if it wasn't for the way they work, Mark Higgins is one of the hardest workers, somebody who understands not just the progressive issues, but he understands business. With that, Commissioner Higgins, please come up, tell us a little bit more about yourself. And again, tell us why we all love Laura as well.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. I'll cash you out later. So welcome, fam. I'm Center County Commissioner Mark Higgins, and I love you all. I have 1 minute, so this is going to be very quick. What can you say about Laura Shadle? Amazing, queen of memes, dynamic public speaker, wearer of many hats, all of them tremendously fashionable. When you've knocked 11,000 doors and you're tired, and you feel like you don't have a friend left in the entire world, who should you call at 2 a.m. to improve your mood? There's no one better than Laura Shadle. Laura has a strong work ethic and boundless energy. She is so knowledgeable, creative, and talented. I've enjoyed having her on my team. Now I look forward to being on her team. Thank you, Laura. We are so fortunate to have her working for the citizens of Center County. She is, of course, tremendously qualified to be the Center County Democratic Jury Commissioner. From the bottom of my heart, Laura, thank you for running. My minute of fame is over. Back to you, Scott.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins, and thank you for everything you do. You know, to keep it rolling along, the next individual here to tell you how wonderful Laura is someone that has not just shown his ability to understand the issues, but someone that's been active, someone that knows what it's like to be in the depths of a campaign, but also someone's going to show you what Center County is about. See, when we elect commissioners, when we elect mayors, when we elect even jury commissioners, our talent in this county is far more impressive than I think than anywhere else you're going to find. And with that, we're fortunate to have one of our candidates for State College Mayor this year, someone that's worked in the party, someone that's chaired the committees of the commissioners, is someone that's run for office and knows what it's like to get in the depths of it. Another good friend of mine, Ezra Nanes. Ezra?
Thank you so much, Representative. It's such a privilege to be here and such a joy to celebrate someone that we all truly love and admire, our one and only Laura Shadle. So happy to be here. About 4 years ago, my wife Mika and I first got to know Laura, and she just instantly got into our hearts. First of all, Laura is literally a fashion idol for our 2 children. But it was her friendly, easygoing nature, her positivity, and her kindness toward us that just made us feel like we were part of her family, or as Commissioner Higgins said, we were fam. And that meant a lot to us. I've campaigned with Laura as a candidate back in 2018 when I ran against Jake Corman, now as candidate for State College mayor. And I've also worked with Laura on campaigns, and we've knocked hundreds of doors together in the Borough, in Snowshoe, Penns Valley, out in Mifflin, Juniata, Huntington counties. We've walked in parades in the rain together. We've talked about the framing of issues and strategized and worked together to strengthen the grassroots of the Democratic Party. Laura is easy to work with. She's supportive, she's encouraging, and she's not afraid to be honest on difficult topics. But most of all, and I think you all know this, she always shows up for her team. Laura helps in such an important way to make the gears of our local county and state politics turn. And this has already been alluded to, but she knows the people, the place, the organization, the history so well. And she uses that knowledge to help our government function more effectively, to bring people representation and the best service that they can get in Center County. So it's been amazing to watch Laura emerge as a local leader, and she's always been a leader, but now she's here running for office. Her voice on the issues is one that, for me, always rings true, and her voice resonates with wisdom and her most welcome sense of humor, which just brings joy to things that she does. And Laura is someone that I really trust. So she's built an absolutely superstar campaign team. I mean, look out, world. This is an amazing team. And she's going to continue to serve us honorably as Center County Jury Commissioner. And mark my word, in ever greater roles to come. Laura, you have our absolute total support. We love you, and we're so proud to call you our candidate and our friend.
Ezra, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
For those of you that are listening around the state, you're beginning to realize that the state representative is probably the least qualified individual of all the individuals either elected or running for office in Center County. But with that said, when Laura Shadle puts out the word, people show up. Now, let's not even get into the meat of it. Judge candidates cannot endorse, nor would we ask them to endorse. But when Laura Shadle has an event, it doesn't matter whether you're endorsing Laura Shadle or not. You show up at the event. It's not a choice, it's a mandate. So with that, we're going to kick off with three of the most incredible ladies the state has to offer. We're going to start with a lady that I met years ago. I had the opportunity, I knew her husband for quite some time. And when I met her, not only did I find her looks breathtaking, but I have never seen an energizing bunny like this before. I mean, I thought I saw the hardest workers in Pennsylvania up till then. But now all that's gone by the wayside. In fact, all three of the ladies that are coming up all go through that. But we're going to start with the top of the ticket. We're going to start with Maria McLaughlin. Maria is from Philadelphia. She is relentless. She's smart. She understands the issues. But most of all, she has compassion for people. Maria, please.
Wow, I'm just going to have you do all of my speeches. And first of all, Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, the lips are all mine. I won her graphics after this campaign. But I am here because of Laura Shadle. Because if there weren't Laura Shadles in this Commonwealth, I would not be where I am today. And I mean that with all sincerity. I mean, from the first time I met Laura, it was like a magnet. I mean, her energy and, for me, her willingness to help somebody from the other side of the state, just because she believes in what is important for our Democratic Party. And I am just honored to call her my friend. We had a blast. There's nothing better than when you have to campaign and you can actually have fun doing it. And boy, did I have fun in Center County because of Laura Shadle and all the young Dems that she brought along with her. So I am here, and I can tell you that I have been Zooming now for a number of months. I haven't seen a Zoom with over 79 people in it, okay? So if that just doesn't speak volumes as to who Laura Shadle is, I don't need to say anything more. But I want you to know, Laura, how proud I am of you, how much I need your energy and your activism, because you are the reason that we get elected. I may be the top of the ticket, but Center County is coming out for you, girl, and I'm going to ride that wave of Laura Shadle. So thank you so much, Center County. I can't wait till we all get elected. Congratulations, Sean. How proud you must be. And I will be there for your petition signing and any other time you tell me to be there. Thank you, Representative.
Maria, thank you. And we're just going to keep going down this path of energy. The next lady I got to meet a couple years ago, running for judge. The first thing I noticed about her was her beautiful brown eyes, how kind they were, how open she was. But then I began to learn a little bit more about her. You see, I'm a union guy. I've been in the union since 1977. And I'm going to tell you, if you're in the union, men, women, whether you're working in a grocery store, on the construction site, wherever it may be, you need people to have your back. And our next presenter is someone that's had the union man and union woman's back her whole career. Someone that had a father, I'm in the carpenters union, someone that knows what it's like to be in those unions and have to work hard and have to support a family and have to be out all the time. So the next individual running is someone that we all know, someone that's run in the past, and someone that is going to be our future. Amanda Green-Hawkins. Amanda, please give us a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And thank you all. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for having me here. Please bear with me. My internet connection is a little unstable, but I hope you can hear the excitement in my voice about being here and being with all of you. And I first met Scott a couple of years ago, and I also met Laura then too. And I know everything that everyone has said, I know it to all be true. And so I could repeat all of that, or I could just say ditto. I can tell you though, I was just so excited when I got the invitation to this event, because you all know what it means to be invited to an event by Laura Shadle. It means that you are hanging out with the cool kids. So I'm excited to be hanging out with the cool kids, running for Commonwealth Court, running for judge, and hanging out with Laura and the cool kids. And I just value everything that that Laura has done for me and my campaign, all of her help, her support. It just means so very much. And to be here tonight to celebrate her announcement of her campaign, and to be here with the other judicial candidates and all of you, I just can't tell you, it's a real boost towards the end of a very hectic and tiring week. And I'm glad Laura's running, of course, and I look forward to seeing Laura, seeing Scott, and all of you very, very soon on the campaign trail, because you know, if you call me, I will certainly be there, because I want to be with the cool kids. Thank you so much.
Amanda, thank you. Western Pennsylvania knows and loves you well, and the rest of the state has learned to love you as well. And we're going to keep the judges rolling. And I'm going to tell you, you know, you can always tell how popular somebody is by how many phone calls you get from their friends saying, you've got to meet this person. You've got to support this person. You've got to see what they've done. You've got to understand what they've done. So for tonight, I told Laura's staff, I said, you know, I need a little resume on our next presenter, just something small and short. Well, 3 pages later, it's still coming. This is probably the longest resume I've ever seen in my life. And to read it, I would think she was older than I am, to find out that she's just a young, beautiful lady who's been a judge. She's gone to Harvard. She's been a school teacher. She's worked in the trenches. She understands what it's like to work hard. West Philadelphia. She has more friends than anybody I know outside of Laura Shadle and maybe Amanda Hawkins and Maria McLaughlin. But she comes to us with probably one of the longest resumes and one of the longest list of friends that told me I have to meet this individual. Well, just reading and looking, I think I know her very well now. Someone that's going to do a great job Judge Timika Lane. Timika?
Hi, thank you. Wow, thank you for that introduction. I feel like I need like the theme music from The Fresh Prince, West Philly, born and raised. I love it. So I am so excited to be here. I want to say ditto to what everyone is saying because I'm like, they took everything because Laura, you are amazing. I am so glad that you thought enough to extend an invitation so I can be here and share in this moment. I am so excited for you. Your energy is contagious. You've been out there advocating and fighting for Democratic candidates and more importantly, our values and making sure that everyone knows that this party is inclusive and is for them. And for you to be a jury commissioner is perfect because we know that the jury system is the bedrock of our judicial system and we cannot function without it. We as judges would not be able to do our job. And when people come in to serve as jurors, the first person that they would be you and your staff. I can't think of a better way to introduce them to our judicial system. And it's such an honor and blessing knowing that you're going to be there. And I'm feeling a little good now that Amanda said we're part of the cool kids. I didn't even know. I got to find my red lipstick when I come up there. I'm ready. But again, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You are going to be amazing. Thank you.
Timika, thank you. Well done. Now, for those of you that are really getting to see the cream of the crop in Center County, this bench is deep. In fact, as you go through, not only does Laura know, but Laura knows to surround herself with the best there is. So if you want to know what's happening in Center County, if you want to know what's happening in the Center region, if you want to know what's happening with the Center County Party, you've got to go through Betsy Whitman because Betsy Whitman is another energizer. Betsy keeps it going. As they say, Betsy keeps it real. She tells you the truth. She tells you what needs to be done. And it doesn't matter what's going on. Betsy's there to help this party every step of the way. With that, Betsy, tell us why you're the campaign manager and tell you why, again, we all love Laura so much.
Sorry, I couldn't unmute. I had an emergency. Can everybody hear me? Scott, shake your hand. You're the only one who can say, okay, hey. So first of all, thank you, Scott. I didn't realize I had that much influence over everybody, but that's good to know. And I want to thank Amanda Green-Hawkins for letting me know that I'm one of the cool kids too. I think that's far more important than having any influence over my fellow Center County Democrats. I want to say that going at the end of a long list of people who are singing praises of somebody that is near and dear to my heart makes my job easy because all I have to do is second everything that everybody before me has said about Laura. But I do want to add my first impression of Laura. It was when I first came to Center County, and that would have been in 2010. And I went to a phone bank for Joe Sestak, and there amongst the phone bankers was somebody in a straw hat with a curled brim and a red ribbon around the hat. She was a high school student. She was phone banking, as I said, for Joe Sestak. And I'm telling you, we all know this is Laura, she knew more about Sestak's biography, more about his issues, and more about his frickin' campaign than anybody in the room. So I immediately knew that Laura was somebody that I was going to hook my hat on. So we've been knocking doors and campaigning ever since then. So I'm not here to make any more superlatives about this wonderful candidate. I am here to present Laura Shadle as a flagship candidate. We've already heard, I think it was Maria, or maybe it was Timika, I'm not sure, said, we are going to ride the wave that is Laura Shadle. So we all know that a flagship is the flotilla that carries the flag, that carries the captain, the boss of everything. That's Laura Shadle. Because Laura Shadle is not here just running for jury commissioner. Laura is running to be a walking, talking billboard for candidates up and down the ticket, and to expanding our organization of committee people and volunteers across Center County, because it is that grassroots network that brought Laura to where she is and our commissioners to where they are, and ultimately electing good, solid judges and people across the state and people, of course, across the nation. So obviously up the ticket, Laura's going to be talking about our 3 judges at the Supreme Court, the Superior Court, and the Commonwealth Court. And then down ticket, which is actually has a place in my heart, she's going to be talking about Judge Grine, who's running for retention, the magisterial district judge, where we are hot on the trail of somebody in the Penns Valley area. She'll be talking about supervisors, council people, mayors. We have over 70 people in this county running for that, over 70. School board, we've got 4 school boards completely within Center County, judges and inspectors of election even. We have potentially 182 in Center County. Laura is a voice for all of those. When she goes to the door to talk about herself, she always manages to talk about somebody up the ticket or somebody down the ticket. So my job in Laura's campaign, and by the way, I'm not her campaign manager. I really have a much easier job. As many of you know, I'm the campaign chair, which means I can do as much or as little as I want to do. My role in this campaign, as in many campaigns, is to be the petition. Someone would call me the queen. I'll be modest about that, but I'm the petition coordinator. And this is the first opportunity that a candidate has to get started on her campaign. I view the petition circulation period as one of the best kept secrets of organizing. I, in fact, view it as fireworks. And the first part of that campaign, that petition circulation, is what we do here in Center County many times is we run a blitz. Oh, so what is a blitz? A blitz, it's fireworks. A blitz is getting as many signatures as we possibly can in the first 2 days of that petition circulation period. We are running out of the gate swinging. So Laura's goal is to get 250 signatures. That's what she needs to get on the ballot. Okay, we're not stopping at 250. And by the way, we're talking about this within the first 2 days. So we all know that when you run for an office, you can have a minimum number of signatures. You really need to get 50% more than that. So if you do the math, that's 375 signatures. And again, we're going to get this in the first 2 days. We've done it before in many campaigns. We're going to do it with this one. So over the course of the entire petition period, in addition to the 350, which we will probably double by the end of the full 3 weeks, or probably 2.5 weeks that we'll do, Laura's team has set a goal of getting signatures in every single municipality across the county. And we have a chart all set up, ready to go. So what I'm looking at in my little home office is a master spreadsheet. It has names of people who are going to be circulators. I have columns where I can tabulate the number of signatures that come in. So how do I check on signatures? At the end of the day, I ask everybody to take a picture of their petition. We don't need to have the petition in hand, but I need to see a picture of those signatures. So the 13 names I have down so far, and I'm just checking my list here, Laura said she's going to get 50. I'm going to try and get 40. Sometimes I can do that. We've got Hilary and Erin who are on Laura's team. You're going to meet them in a second. They're going to get 20 each. I do the math, and already with several other people involved, we're up to modestly 219 signatures. So what I need everybody to do tonight on this call, everybody who lives in Center County, first of all, I want you to raise your hand. Raise your hand if you think you can circulate a petition for Laura Shadle. I can't see you, but other people can see you, right? Scott's going to circulate. And then I want you to, really quickly in the chat, I want you to put your email in the chat. And Hilary's going to be making the same ask. Hilary's coming right after me. She's going to want volunteers. But I want people tonight, if you are going to circulate a petition for Laura Shadle, I want you to put your email in the chat and I want you to hit send. And if you think about it, you can also tell me how many signatures you think you're going to get in those first 2 days, because I'm going to add you to this list. I know how to find you. We know how to get you a petition for you to circulate, and the rest will be history at the county elections office. So my next job is to introduce Hilary Caldwell, who I just met the last couple of months, but I feel like I've known Hilary my whole campaigning life. Hilary is a professional actress, Shakespeare no less, which right away got my heart. but she jumped into the political world hook, line, and sinker. When I found out that she had never done any political organizing before, I thought maybe I misheard someone. Hilary has literally hit the ground running, but she not only is a supreme organizer and keeps me on track, keeps everybody else on track, but she's so pleasant all the time doing it. So I can't think of a better person to be the campaign manager for Laura Shadle. So with that, I guess I turn the mic over to the professional actress.
Thank you so much, Betsy. What incredibly kind words from the literal petitions queen. To echo everything said before, I'd like to express the most immense gratitude to all the elected officials in attendance, to our incredible guest speakers, to our MC for the evening, Representative Scott Conklin, and to all of the community members who are here to kick off Laura's campaign. We couldn't have done this without every single one of you, and I am overjoyed to see this outpouring of support. Two of the most valuable things you can give during a campaign are your time or your money. My colleague Erin will speak about the money bit in just a moment, so I'd like to speak briefly about time. Laura's campaign for Center County Jury Commissioner may not be as focused on in the media as some other state or federal races, but it is just as important, especially as a flagship candidate. Local government is where the groundwork for real, consistent change happens, and we need someone with conviction, creativity, and compassion to ensure that our judicial process is as fair and equitable as possible. We need someone like Laura. We're excited for Laura's campaign to be a beacon for the state, expanding representation in local governments, campaigning in a positive and inclusive manner, and supporting other progressive candidates along the way. And with all that said, we can't do it without your help. We'll be looking for volunteers to do everything from networking to data entry to social media promotion to attending and sharing our events, anything we can do to keep this race as efficient and as filled with joy and vigor as possible. Whether you have a few minutes to spare or hours to expend, any time you're able to give is always greatly appreciated. Pennsylvania cannot afford to lose the momentum we established in 2020 and the years prior, and every position counts. This is the opportunity for you to stay engaged with your community and champion the race of the candidate who wants to work for every resident of this county. I'm going to go ahead and drop into the chat, which Erin previously did as well, the Get Involved page on the shadle4pa.com website. Just dropped it in. So you can check that out and just immediately sign up to volunteer. You can get more information about Laura and the position, or you could always email me and I can go ahead and type that in really quick at Hilary@shadle4pa.com. I, for one, am very excited to get to know all of you and stay in touch and work with everybody. And with that, I will pass the mic off to my wonderful friend and partner in crime, Erin Heim.
Hey everybody, my name is Erin. I am the campaign treasurer. And until the day where we have massive campaign finance overhauls and every single aspect of it, and the campaigns are actually run publicly, every single aspect of a campaign is run on donations. So if we want a diversity of folks to run for elected office and win, and not just those that can self-fund, donations are what make this happen. So if you have not yet donated towards this event tonight, and you are in a position to help make this Laura Shadle for Center County Commissioner campaign dream happen, we would appreciate every single contribution. And not just for Laura Shadle, but every elected that has been on tonight, if you're able to help them win the races as well, they run the race on everything that people on these calls are able to provide. So I will, of course, drop the link to donate in the chat. And thank you so much for making this happen. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Representative Conklin.
Erin, Hilary, Betsy, thank you all. There's no wonder Laura's surrounded herself with the best there is in Center County. Thank all three of you. You know, before I introduce our guest of honor, the person that put this all together, the reason we're all here, there's something I've got to tell everybody. Laura Shadle does work in the office that we have, but few people know that Laura Shadle never asked for that position. In fact, Laura turned me down. She wasn't sure if she had the time commitment. She wasn't sure if that was something she wanted to do. I literally dogged her for almost a year to come into the office, because one thing I can tell you is that when I see talent, I grab it. One of the things that I enjoyed about having the band on earlier, I also played in a band for years, and it's been a lonely 2 years or the last year and a half without being able to do anything. But when you see talent, you grab it. It doesn't matter whether you're in politics. It doesn't matter whether you're in an office. You grab that talent. And I'm going to tell you right now, the individual that's getting ready to speak not only has more talent than she understands, her wings haven't even begun to grow yet. So with that, the person we've come to see, the person we've come to hear, the individual with the greatest logo I think I've ever seen in Pennsylvania history, my friend, Laura Shadle. Laura?
All right. Hey, Scott. And hey, everyone else. My dad just yelled at me that I'm muted, so I think I'm here now. Can y'all hear me? Scott gave the jazz hands, so we're good now, right? All right. Thank you so much, Scott, especially for emceeing this and everything else. And I am so honored by everybody who has come here before me to speak, and all the words that you have said. I have, despite being in politics for a long time, I mean, over 10 years, I've never really acquired the ego for it. So when I receive any kind of praise, it's just overwhelming to me. But hopefully the humility plays well. But again, I want to thank you all so much. I know there are a number of, as I said before, elected officials on the call. I know the work that we all do, and I'm just so grateful for your work as well as the work that we all do. And for your support and jumping on here as well, and everyone else. And especially just the generated enthusiasm about the jury commissioner race that I was able to facilitate. Many people, this is not really an elected position for many counties and many places across the country. So it's a position within the judicial system, which I think is fantastic that is still elected here. And I'll tell you why, because it just democratizes the process and it ensures further equity and accountability in our judicial system, at least in the jury process. And that's something that I am very in tune with. You need progressives in the judicial system at every level. And apart from my predecessor, Jason Moser, we have really made this a priority now, where everything that's happening within the system, we are looking at equity, like racial justice, ableism, everything you can possibly imagine. We are really focused in on that. And this is something that has not necessarily been the norm for a long time, but it is now. And this is what happens when you start to elect Democrats at the county level. And it doesn't happen overnight, but we can make a lot of great change. And I am, of course, going to be a very outspoken force in that way. But I also want to take this a little bit further and say, as a political figure, that I am going to be, and I believe it was Betsy and Hilary who said, I will be your flagship candidate this year. I'm going to be the person who generates turnout and excitement this year for all candidates up and down the ballot. I don't think it's a surprise to many of you on this call that I was the person prior to this who ran the Democratic Party for several years. and ran the initial Teamwork Center County slate, you can look at this year as Teamwork 2.0, where we run as a team, we run as a slate, as a coalition for democratic values, for progressive values, for inclusive values. It's the thing that this is what I serve with, and this is what I run on. And this is what we have to continue, and we have to be continuously more bold as Democrats with these values. And that is what we're going to do. And that is certainly what I'm going to deliver as a candidate here. And I will do everything. When I ran the campaigns in 2019, we increased turnout for a municipal election substantially, and we will do the same this year. I will make sure of it. As your top county candidate, like as the person driving that turnout, I will make sure of it, and I will deliver for the top of the ticket for all of our statewide judicials. I will do that for every single municipal candidate running. I understand what's at stake in every election. I have made a point where, we talk about all of our different elections and where Democrats do well and where we don't. And we often falter in the odd years, and they like to call them the off years, which is it does not register in my vocabulary. They're not off years, they're odd years. I always like to say that the odd years may be good to the oddballs, and that's me. And by oddball, I mean the authentic, the people who actually, I'm often called that. But it's because I'm authentic. I actually communicate with people. What you see is what you get from me. That has always been the case. That has always been why I've been effective in my career and why I've done well by many of you on this call, and will continue to do so. And so I say we just keep this going. So I'm like snapping my fingers, but like we're going to keep this going. It's going to be good. I think candidates, especially this year, as Democrats, we are tasked with an incredible challenge right now. We're running for the first time in 4 years. Trump is not president anymore. We have a Democratic president. We have Joe Biden. And we are tasked with the challenge of making sure that Democrats are not going to become complacent, because they can't. If our people become complacent, I guarantee you, knowing political trends, having been involved for years, I guarantee you we could have another uprising of somebody like Trump, who's smarter and possibly more charismatic and everything like that, and definitely more of a challenge in the next 4 to 8 years. This we have seen the footage of what could happen, and so it's up to us now. We need young, talented people at every level of government to be to be running for office, be bold in your convictions, and to be running. This is what we have to do. I will support anyone else as well. But this is what we have to do. And I think we are going to stop that. And we're going to have a brighter future in Center County, and we're going to have a brighter future in Pennsylvania because of the work that we're all collectively doing. And so with that, I just want to say, I thank you all so much. I want to thank everybody on this call, all the elected officials, all the activists, and I would say definitely Scott and everybody who's been advising many of us younger activists and electeds. like just moving forward. This is really a team effort, and we're really making progress. We are certainly making progress in Center County, and this is something that needs to be replicated everywhere. And we have the blueprint here, so let's keep this going. And I just want to say, I can't again say thank you enough to everyone here. So I'm just gonna blow kisses. Like, you're all
Laura,
amazing.
Now now everybody knows why we back Laura Shadle. And with that, we want to thank all the attendees. We want to thank Laura, just for being you. That's all we want to thank. We want to thank all the elected officials. And from here, we're going to turn it over to Hilary, and she's going to finish out the rest of the Zoom call. Hilary, thank you so much as well for allowing me to be here tonight. We love you, Laura.
Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, everybody, if you need to hop off for the evening, that's totally fine, but stick around for a few more minutes of a Q&A. I'll give it a couple of seconds and we will go ahead and get started. I think what we're gonna do is alternate between the written question that we have, and then feel free to go ahead and use your reaction button to raise your hand to ask a question to Laura, or you could go ahead and just type it into the chat. So starting out with our written question, will Sufjan be making an appearance?
Sorry, I can grab him. I think he's in the other room, but do you want me to grab the cat?
Mark Higgins asked if sweet baby Sufjan is going to be making.
Let me I can grab him. So
Thanks, Laura.
yeah, get other. What I would say is get other questions ready, and I will grab him.
Great. I know Anthony has raised his hand, so we can go ahead and get that question ready. Also, if you need some dog content in your life.
Which Anthony?
Anthony Disler?
Well, let's deal with that first.
Okay, great. So Anthony, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I don't have as much of a question. I have more of a statement. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. And that is that Laura Shadle is the greatest person I ever met that's currently running for jury commissioner in Center County. So we know how long
that was fantastic. Thank you, Anthony.
Wait, did he?
I think you accidentally cut audio a little bit into it. Oh no.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are there any other questions?
I mean, I probably should have, but it was going to go into a celebrity roast. But
please feel free to use the reaction button to raise your hand. You can type them into the chat. Any other statements or questions that you might have for Laura? All right. I don't think I'm seeing anything. So again, thank you all so much for being here. This has been such an invigorating evening. Please go ahead. I know that I've dropped, and Erin's dropped, and Maddie King has dropped the get involved link.
Do you want me to buy some time and like grab my cat? Because he's across the room.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? And maybe Disler can get back on, because I think he was saying something, but
sure.
One sec, guys.
I'm also going to go ahead and drop, if you haven't had the chance to donate to the campaign kickoff event yet, I'm going to go ahead and drop that into the chat. Feel free to check that out. It's been so lovely seeing everyone here and getting to meet everybody. I am going to bring back some good Chihuahua time while we're waiting for Laura. This is Zeus. He's a rescue. We got him from Pets Come First. He is, I want to say 9. He is the sweetest little baby I've ever met in my life. We have another Chihuahua who is the meanest dog I've ever met. He bites me every day and he hates me very much. So yeah, while we're waiting for Laura oh, there's Sufjan.
Here he is.
Hi, Sufjan.
Sufjan.
Hi, Sufjan. Great. Okay. If there are no further questions, if people feel like they've gotten their fill of cats and dogs and fantastic speakers this evening, feel free to go ahead and log off. It's been really lovely seeing everyone, and I can't wait to see you again on the campaign trail. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.